Woo! Just win, baby. Another W in the win column.
Yeah, that's good. But aren't you just a little concerned that Baltimore is tied with you in the division now?
Nah, we got this.
Oh my God, we did it!
I don't want to hear it from a guy whose half his fan base is Swifties. Broncos country, let's cry.
Back to the Super Bowl. Why'd they put the trash cans next to the Cowboys helmet?
You could take it and shove it up your...
Peace!
What I really need to be hearing from you, though, is thank you.
Good afternoon, football fans, and happy bye week, at least for one of the last two undefeated teams, and I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, which I am a huge fan of. My name is Christian Tipple, joined side along with the terrible towel twirling Trajan. My finger was off screen there, so let me just bring it back here to that guy right there. And hey, look at that. A dominating victory against the AFC West opponent. Don't get used to it.
I mean, it's nice that you let us use your vacation home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nice to get a tour of what it's like to win a Super Bowl in that stadium.
Yeah.
Well, at least there's no I don't want to talk about it for the third week in a row, right?
That's true.
Very happy about that. So
4-2. If you would have said 4-2 at the beginning of the season with Justin Fields as the quarterback, I would have took it.
You would have took it. There you go. Well, as you can see right here, you will definitely take this victory here as the Pittsburgh Steelers do take down the Las Vegas Raiders. I would say at home, because it kind of was a home game for you guys, judging by the sight of how many terrible towels there were. But let's be honest, every game for the Raiders is a home game for the visiting team most of the time. So, but
they done messed up.
Looked like a pretty dominating game, at least defensively, and your offense actually did enough this time.
It did. Defensively, we'd made turnovers, and that's what really... So, there's talks of Mr. Dangerous coming in, and it's really just because, like the stat line here, Justin Fields, he did enough. 14 of 24, 145 yards. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He did get 2 touchdowns on the ground, and that's where he is kind of shined this year. He has got 10 touchdowns total, 5 on the ground, 5 through the air. A little bit more than someone else. But anyways, we did it. We scored over 30 points. I didn't think it was possible. I thought that was for other teams to enjoy. It had me a little worried when we went down there, scored a field goal, and they just went straight down and scored a touchdown. I'm like, oh, great. We are going to lose to the freaking Aiden O'Connell Raiders. But then we kind of dominated from there. 9 points in the second quarter. Another 10 points in the third. Another 10 points in the fourth. Should have been more. There's some field goals there that should have been touchdowns. But TJ Watt... I mean, the sack column isn't shining this year, but he is making the pressures, the plays when we need them most.
The theoretical sacks.
The theoretical sacks. He took away the ball twice, just punching it out of the people's hands. And those were key stops. One of them would have led to a touchdown that would have brought him kind of in a little bit of hope in the second half, but it sealed it up there. That kind of shut him down. But really, it was a good game, and the best game by far from Najee. 106 yards on the ground, 14 carries. 106 and 14 carries, that's pretty good. Including a long one for 36 yards, scoring a touchdown there. He also... He ran very angry. I'll just put it that way. He heard the criticism, and I think he took it to heart. He also put 2 receptions on the ground, 16 yards, so well over 100 yards on the day. But the Raiders are struggling, and I really wish they were in our division. But we got the Browns, so I guess everything's fair.
And it's kind of funny that you brought up those two specific teams because those two specific teams have a couple moments that were very newsworthy, I would have to say. I
They
guess we
did.
could no better way to start with the Raiders here too, but Devonte Adams no longer a Las Vegas Raider. He has been reunited with his former quarterback. No, not Derek Carr. He has been reunited with Aaron Rodgers. He is now a New York Jet.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, who would have saw that coming? But the Raiders, being typical Raiders, waited a year too long
hmm
and only got a third round pick from him.
Exactly. So,
And we got a lot more.
when's Jordy Nelson coming to the Jets now? Or excuse me, the New York Jackers now, since they're almost the Packers now.
Almost the Packers.
Almost the Packers.
Nothing would surprise me. It might
Absolutely.
be on the demand sheet.
So, I kind of have my own feelings about this, but what do you think? Do you really think adding Devonte Adams is what they really needed to probably? It seems like they're right there to maybe turn this into a not a lost season. Is this the right move? Is this enough to maybe turn things in the right direction? I think getting rid of Sala kind of threw things a little out of whack, especially now that's Todd Downing
Um,
calling the plays now. But I mean, maybe it's
it's
the
weird to make
personnel.
this move right after firing your head coach, but I don't know. I think it will because Rodgers is the kind of QB that only throws it to people he trusts.
hmm
He lost trust in Mike Williams, and obviously Garrett Wilson. It's Garrett Wilson, right?
Garrett Wilson, yep.
Yep. He is a good wide receiver, but I don't know if he's good enough to have all the attention on him.
That's
And
probably
maybe that's in the future.
that's probably a fair point. Yeah.
But I think now with Adams out there on the field, they're probably gonna double him, and that might leave Wilson open a little bit. So maybe they got a good defense. They just need to open things up. Maybe opening things up with the wide receivers will open things up with Brees Hall,
Brees Hall, yep.
and which, yeah, hopefully they just don't do it this week.
I mean, just look at this team in a vacuum, though. Like, take away the fact that it's the New York Jets, and just look at the player personnel that's on there. You've got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. You've got Devonte Adams and Garrett Wilson, Al Lazard, and I would give Mike Williams another chance on that too. And you got Brees Hall in the backfield. How in the world would this offense not work out? But it's just something about the Jets, it seems like. And I might be speaking too early. It hasn't happened yet. We haven't seen Devontae on the field. I guess we'll just see how it plays out. As Woody Johnson said, thinking is overrated.
I mean, they need to call Peyton up to see how they could get this curse lifted.
Ah, that's exactly it. There you
That's what
go.
they need to do.
Well, speaking of curses, someone else that escaped a team that is forever curse, as Martin Luther King Jr. said, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, Amari Cooper is free at last. He has been freed from the factory of sadness and is now a Buffalo Bill. And I have to say, that's a pretty savvy move by the Bills, I mean, outside of Shakir, who has been kind of battling injury as well too, there's not really a stud wide receiver. Yeah, they got Curtis Samuel, I guess, and he's been all right. You've got two tight ends. You've got Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. But yeah, adding Amari Cooper, although he's led the league in drops this year, maybe a fresh scenery for him
Maybe he
will
was
help.
just one to leave.
Self-sabotage, right?
I mean, imagine getting thrown to by that quarterback.
Right, exactly. Oh Lord.
I just don't know. I mean, they needed something. I'm really surprised that they didn't go all in on Devonte Adams. I mean, at least rent him for a year. They weren't asking much. They could have offered a two, or just a three with a better condition. Like we win the championship game or whatever. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it remains to be seen how they do. Do they face you guys this year?
The Buffalo Bills, they do. Yes. I forget what week. Let's just pull it up here. And it's at Buffalo, too.
So that will tell a lot, depending on how they play versus you guys. If it's a dominant fashion and he makes a lot
Here we
of
go.
uh, of the plays, then yes, it was a great play and trade. But if it's just more of the same of Diggs getting shut down, then I don't think so.
It's week 11 at Buffalo, 3:30 game. Chiefs at the Bills. So there we go. Little time for a Cooper to get himself enveloped and learn the playbook of the Buffalo Bills. So there we go. We shall see. Time will tell.
And
And
Von Miller should be off his suspension.
oh, that's true. There we go. Or is he suspended 1 week after? No, I'm kidding. I don't.
It might be.
That'd be funny if it was. I actually don't know the specifics of the
It was a
of
four
the.
game, I think.
I think so too. That's right. So yeah, he'll be back right then too. So yeah, you want to talk about Chiefs get all the calls and all the conspiracy theory, right?
They got a
uh, Alrighty. Well, we went over through the big trade deals here too. We're about to wrap this episode up too. Trajan, what you got? You got another primetime matchup this weekend, don't you?
The lights love us. What can I say? I'm hoping last week was a primetime game. We put 30 points up. Maybe we do it again. Do I dare say that? It's going to be interesting because we don't know who's going to be the starting QB. So it has a lot of storylines, and of course, will Devontae Adams suit up for this game? Will he not? He had that hamstring issue. We'll see.
We shall see. Yep, full disclosure, we are recording this on Thursday evening, so no word yet who the Steelers are going to go with as the starting quarterback this week. We shall see. All right, and then of course, 3:30 nationwide broadcast, America's Game of the Week. Tom Brady going to be the broadcaster for this one. It is a rematch of that Super Bowl right there. The Kansas City Chiefs, the final undefeated team in the AFC, taking on the Super Bowl runner-up San Francisco 49ers. And boy, howdy, if there was any time for a revenge game, this was the game that I selected, that the Chiefs, in our predictions, the Chiefs would suffer their first loss. Obviously, injuries are a big part of both teams right now. So, injuries at key positions. So, you know what? There's not going to be any excuses. It's at Santa Clara. So, we shall see. May the best team win. And the stakes are raised a little bit higher this time, too. So, we have made it official. It's been notarized. It's been signed into law. It's passed the Senate. It's passed the House. It's being made an amendment right now as we speak in the Bill of Rights. We have another bet on our hands here. If the San Francisco 49ers are victorious over the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday, then for next week's intro, I will have to wear the same San Francisco 49ers shirt that Trajan wore when he came to my house and witnessed one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, ending in overtime, a shootout with Kansas City going on top. But if the Kansas City Chiefs go to Santa Clara and take down the 49ers once again like they have for the last 10 years of head-to-head matchups, then next week's intro, he's going to say it loud, he's going to say it proud, so that the millions and millions can hear it. I'm going to ask him, how about those Chiefs? And he's going to tell me, how about those Chiefs? You're not going to want to miss next week's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Get excited because I know we are. Any closing thoughts before we wrap things up, my friend?
If the 49ers let me down again, I swear. I will never trust them again. Never.
To be fair, did you say the same thing after the Super Bowl?
Hubris.
All right, well, that is our show this week. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Place your bets down below. Who's taking it all? Kansas City or San Francisco? We'd love to hear from you. And we shall see you all next week.